I'm milling about with Rob Estes, and he's starring in the film The Italians behind me. Hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you. I see the poster. I like it. Makes me hungry. A lot of food.
I have to ask you, did you actually eat all that food? And talk about shooting those kinds of food scenes.
They were excellent. I tended not to eat before those scenes because I knew I was going to have to eat a whole lot of meatballs, but they were so good. One of the ladies that was the set dresser is an Italian cook. She's Italian. She's hard to understand. I'm like, wait, what are you saying? And she made great food. So yeah, I stuffed myself, and it was fantastic. And it's so the character. I mean, Vincenzo's a pig. He loves food. Yeah, I think it's almost sensual for him, and I think that's for me, when I read the script, I quickly saw that that's partly how he fell so deeply in love with Angelina because she can cook.
Yeah, and you're no stranger to playing in Italians. You have any Italian in you? Like, why do we?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a mutt, so I got a lot of European in me. But you're right. I mean, Chris Lorenzo was Italian. I did a play in LA for 9 months where I played an Italian mangiacavallo, an immigrant. So yeah, it's come across my desk. I love Italians because they're so passionate and they talk with their bodies. And that's me, right? I'm loud. My wife always says, "You're so loud." I'm like, I know. I don't know. I can't help
So
it.
what is your nationality? What is your background? Like, where do your
So
roots
I'm
hail?
French, German, have some Italian, just kind of all over the place. I'm a Neanderthal.
Do you come from a big family as well? Could you relate to that?
No, I don't, which was interesting. And I think what's attracted me to theater and film is that you're in a big family, right? Like when you're doing a series, your family is the people that you're with 12 to 15 hours a day, right? Not blood, but it's who you're spending the majority of your time with. And for me, that's always really spoken to me. And in theater, it's a similar experience. You're going off to accomplish this thing with a bunch of people, and you really get to know each other. And, in the arts, you're trying to dig deep and be vulnerable and be as if you were in a family. So no, I don't come from a big family, but my career has kind of been my family.
Were your parents very strict about the type of women that you brought home? Were they?
Honestly, I did not bring a lot of my girlfriends home. Our
No.
our family wasn't one where you sat around the table. Like I was just always out. Like I would say once I hit 15, I spent as much time out in the world as I could. And then at 17, I was out of the house. So, and then after that, they met some of my girlfriends, right? But I was no longer living in their home,
And it
so
was
it
safe.
was nice. Yeah, yeah.
So when you came to Los Angeles, what were your dreams like? I know you're from Virginia, yeah?
Yeah, I was born in Virginia. I lived in Michigan. I moved out to LA when I was in fifth grade. I didn't really know, I had no idea about Hollywood movie making, but then I went to Santa Monica High School. And
Oh,
it was Rob Lowe, Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen, Nicolas Cage, Holly Pete. It was the kids of movie directors and producers. And I hooked up with a friend who his dad was a stuntman, and I thought that was kind of cool. So that was my thing. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll be a stuntman. That's awesome. And then one night I was, doing stunt school, and one night we read scenes, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's fun. You get to pretend to be somebody else. Whoa, how do you do that? And that was the moment for me of kind of the aha. I want to do this. So I went and auditioned for USC, their BFA program, and they went, "You're horrible." And I went and worked.
no.
Oh yeah, and I was. I went and worked pretty hard for a year, and I went and re-auditioned, and they were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, come on, let's do that." And Ali Sheedy was at FC at that point. It was a good school. Wow, I learned a lot there.
How did you escape the Brat Pack? You're just as handsome as any of them.
Yeah, no, I think that Brat Pack, man, they were there's a that was a different thing. They were all raised in it, and um, I was just doing different stuff. Yeah, and once you start working, I was in TV. They were more film. And back in the day, you didn't mix. You did TV or film. If you were in big films, you never did TV. And if you were in TV, the big films didn't want you. So it was largely two different worlds. And that's like with the Italians. Lately in my career, I've done more films than anything else. Because now it's just a screen, right?
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't matter. We're watching them on computers, on television. It's rare to go to the theater now, which is unfortunate. Um, but the Italians was a love project, and I'm glad it got done. It was a blast.
It's interesting you say that you wanted to be a stuntman because what really grabbed me was your little Tom Cruise risky business move in the very beginning.
What's funny about that? You know how I found that move? Um, I had socks on, and I was going because I'm changing in the hall, and they had this super slippery wood floor, like it had just been waxed, and I fell. I was like trying to get my pants on. I hit the ground, and I was like, "Oh, look at how slippery this is." So I didn't say anything to anybody, and I just came running down the hall and slid into that. Um, which was such a blast. I love finding things like that. So it's a mistake that turned into something fun. I loved it.
So it was literally a happy accident.
Totally. Yep. I'll take them.
What about all the other sort of moments of improv? I feel like there were moments of improv, especially when you were sitting
Yeah.
around the
Yeah,
table.
for sure. It was interesting because we shot it, we did it in a month, and a lot of it took place in a house. So the majority of us were on set. Like, a scene would be being filmed over here, and we're in another room, like, kind of going through scenes and making little adjustments. And Perry Reeves and David, everybody came in ready to play. And Michelle, who directed it, produced it,
She's been
starred
on
in
my
it.
show.
Oh, yeah, she's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
And she
lovely.
just like she took I like she was willing to take all the ideas in, and if it worked, great, and if it didn't, we didn't do it again. And
Mm.
we only had a couple of takes on a lot of things. Um, um, but sometimes that's a boon. Sometimes things end up in the film that wouldn't have ended up in the film because you're moving along, and it gives it its own rhythm. And I think for an Italian family, it's perfect.
Yeah. Did you sort of like hang out all the time with each other to sort of create that family dynamic, or it just happened?
Yeah, I mean, we rehearsed, we talked about things, we, improved, family dinner. We discussed what would really, Matt and I, father and son, we had discussions about, I have a son his age. So for me, it was like, hey, we would have discussions about, some of the scenes just reminded me of conversations I've already had. Different, right? I mean, it's still, but it was a great substitution. And I thought I think he's great in this film. I think he's going to do. I think Matt Daddario will do very well. If you
Yeah.
hear his name,
And he's easy on the eyes, which we
I
like.
know. Yeah, he's so not good looking. Oh, I was like, I could never be his dad. He's not as good looking as I am. Not. Yeah, I was like, okay. They cast me as his dad. All right, good stuff. Yeah, he's a good guy. Good heart.
Speaking of kids, both of your kids are named with an M.
All
Did you,
three.
all three?
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
So, I don't know. It just kind of happened, honestly. I think Mackay, the last born, I think I wanted it to something with a B. I don't remember what it was. And so we kind of in the family voted, and they were like, "Nope, it's Mackay." Oh no, I know what it was. We were at a sushi restaurant. I was living up in Seattle, and we became very good friends with this sushi chef and his wife who ran the place. And at dinner one night, we were like, we really like the name Kai. And we're a surfing family. We're a very water heavy family. And Kai, there's so many Kais in the neighborhood. And we were like, dang. And we're sitting at the sushi bar, and Steve is listening, and he goes, no, no, Makai. And we were like, what? He goes, Makai, mountain to sea, Makai. And we were like, oh, that's it. And it's funny because it was a restaurant named Flo, and we named our dog after that restaurant. So that restaurant has been very good to us in terms of naming things.
So it's not because like your wife, said everybody in my family
No,
has to have an M.
no. And oddly enough, I'd already had an M tattooed on my arm
Oh yeah.
forever, and that was before we named the last one. So it was nice. Now they're all three represented in that. But
So
no,
there's something about the M. There's
for
something
sure,
there.
absolutely.
What is that tattoo all about?
It's my kids forever.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you got that after the first one.
After the first two, there was a big gap. Um, Micaiah is 9 years younger than either of his siblings, so it was a later on.
I will never get a tattoo. You could not pay me enough
Yeah.
to
Just
get
because
it.
you don't know if you want to change it or the pain. What's the
It's all of the above. You know what Jimmy Buffett used to say, right? About
um,
tattoos? It's a permanent reminder of a temporary feeling,
oh, I like that.
right?
I like it. Yeah.
And I
Totally.
just never wanted anything permanent, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of mistakes have been made. You
And it
know.
hurt, right? It
Oh,
hurt.
it doesn't. I mean, yeah. No. Yes. Like a bee sting, I guess. It's kind of fun. You're like, okay, I'll sit here for an hour and get electrocuted a little bit with little quick needles. It's not bad.
I love actors who like cover their tattoos for roles and then like you see them on
And
the
you,
red carpet.
and you had no idea. Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
So what do you like audiences to get from the film? Like, what are some of the themes that are kind of
Well, I
running?
mean, I think the biggest theme in this is that, family, um, in every family, as long as you're honest and you're throwing it out there, even if you have different views, at the end of the day, you're still family and love should win out. Um, and that's kind of, I think, a theme we could use right now. It's okay to be on opposite sides of things, but, everybody's got to give a little bit, meet in the middle, be honest with what you can and can't do. And, you know, and commune with each other, spend time. Um, the dinner scenes in this, it's just, Michelle talks about, she did the film largely because, of her mother, her lineage is Italian. She said, when she had dinner, she had no idea when the pasta was going to fly. And it's true, but you get through it and you learn about each other. And
Yeah.
right now, I think we could all learn a little more about each other and it would be pretty, it would be a step forward.
Mhm. So do you find like family dinners are important to you now? Like,
Oh
especially
yeah,
as a
totally.
kid, you didn't do them.
They're not big. I mean, my two older kids, one's up in Washington, one has been in Idaho, is in Washington right now, and I'm in San Clemente, I'm in Orange County. But we sit down every night at this house and have dinner, unless somebody's working but the norm is breakfast together, dinner, and on weekends we're usually at friends' houses doing something similar. Um, and it's good because it's a village, it's a community. Even though you don't have a big family, you got a lot of friends and you're in it. So it's fun.
Hmm. And then the solo end of things, you said that you surf, so that must be like a nice little Zen thing for you to do
Oh,
apart.
yes. Yeah, and even, I haven't been in the water much at all, but my son's up and, he left at 6 a.m. this morning to go surf before school. He'll probably go after school. It's nature, right? It's like that's why I love, LA is kind of busy and crazy right now. I'm about, what am I, 67 miles south, 3 blocks from the beach. And actually out front of our break, that's where they're going to have the Summer Olympic surf events. So it's,
Great.
it's good surf.
Are
Good
you
stuff.
good?
Am I good? No, I'm horrible. It's a young man sport. God, my son's getting good, but around here, to be good means you're sponsored. You're on the world tour. So that's my son's growing up with them. He's like, Dad, I'm not very good. I'm like, yeah, you are. You're just not gonna. That's not gonna be your life. It's a good thing, you know.
Mm.
So it's fun.
So, speaking of Rob Lowe, there is a job opening now on 911 if you're interested.
Oh yeah, is he not doing it anymore?
It really looked like he was done, but you never know,
Yeah.
You could play brothers.
No, I like that. That's funny. Yeah. We went to high school together. So I think he's a year younger than I am. And then we ended up on the same lot. He was doing, what was I doing? I was doing Suddenly Susan. I think he was doing political show.
West Wing.
Thank you. Yeah. So, um, small world.
You cannot be 60. So please. No way.
I am 16. No. Yeah, I'm very 60. Yeah. Yep.
Wow. You must like do really good stuff for your skin. You look so great.
I don't know what I do, man. I guess I put oil on and well, I drink a lot of beer, so that probably doesn't help, but whatever, right? Just out active and doing life.
Yes. What did you do to celebrate that big number? That's a big number.
I celebrated 62 years ago.
Oh,
So
so
in the
you're
summer,
62.
I'm 62.
Wow.
I'm all 62. Yes.
Amazing. So would you like to return to television? Is that something that you're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I would like to return to things that are good. Like, this movie was so much fun. I had a blast with it. I did another one that's coming out in the fall with Andy Garcia and Tony Collette and Ala Pennifer, and that one was fun. So
What's that called?
it's called Under the Stars.
Oh yeah.
There's some good stuff in it. Andy Garcia is great. He was amazing.
I love him.
He's
Love
just a,
him.
he's just, yeah, I think he's doing it. It's interesting, you meet people who are doing it because they love it and they want to create. And it's just, that's so attractive to me, right? And we're crazy. Artists are crazy. It's like, you have to love it enough that you go, I don't care. I'm absolutely doing this. I don't have a choice. Then you're in the right thing. And I found that I really enjoy working with the people who are going, okay, how do we create? What do we do? No ego. I know it's not coming from me. It's coming through me, but this is something different. And when you have those, it's the best.
Hmm. Yeah. And do you ever feel like you want to get back on the stage again anytime soon?
Yeah. Um,
Because
it's,
that really is acting.
it's
I
the
mean,
best.
everything is
It's the
gravy
best.
compared.
Yeah. I mean, the, the favorite moments I've had, the majority of them have been in theater. Um, in Seattle, I worked at the Intamin and did My Three Sisters with Bart Scher, a Chekhov play.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable. I mean, he took it, he translated it, did the Russian translation, his own, and it was so good. And the play that I did with Michelle years ago, that was an amazing experience. So you're right. Theater is different, and it's intimate. It's of the moment with an audience, and every audience is so insanely different. So every night it's different. And with film, you're hoping to do takes differently, but you're surrounded by people who are just doing their job behind the camera, right? Doing the stuff. Um, so it's just different, but
What
both
were
pretty
what were
good.
some of those happy accidents on stage that
Oh
you
my God,
remember?
Michelle, one night. So when I did the rose tattoo, there's a scene. I play this guy, Monty Cavallo, and he's very much Vincenzo on steroids. He's just can't contain himself, and he's so poor, and he works his way into this lady's home in 1950s um, um, New Orleans in the Bayou, and he ends up opening a bottle of champagne, and I opened it. It hit the cork, hit Michelle between the eyes, right here. It knocked her through a door onto the steps. She didn't fall. And she's in like this little silk robe, and I'm all sweaty and just coming in from the fields. And the laughter, I kid you not, the audience laughed for, let's say, a minute. And then just as it would quiet down, somebody would start to laugh again, and it would start all over. And it was almost impossible not to break. But those are the best. Those moments of like, okay,
You're
fun.
lucky you didn't take her eye out.
Oh my God, I know. Oh my gosh.
And
Yeah.
she still hired you after
She's still
that.
hiring. Yep. She still went, okay, yeah, we can do this. But it's good. It gave us a shorthand of working together. We work in similar ways.
It was really nice to meet
You
you.
as well. It was a pleasure. Good job. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so
Yeah,
much. Come back when you have your next project.
I will for sure.
All
All right.
right. Take good
Bye.
care. Bye.
Bye.
Be here at 6. Antipasto con burrata, minestrone, focaccia, tiramisu for dessert, and your favorite meatballs.
Always news. Always refreshing. Always candid. Always milling about. Robin Milling delivers what celebrities are saying to you.